And good evening here on this Tuesday evening at 101.1 The River, WVRE Dickeyville, Dubuque. Time for the UD Football Coaches Show, as we're going to recap a great Spartan victory last Saturday over Coe College, and we'll preview another big contest for the Spartans as they'll be back at home at Chalmers Field this Saturday as they welcome the Wartburg Knights to the University of Dubuque campus. Both teams will be coming in with a record of 3-0, and the top spot in the Iowa Conference will be up for grabs this Saturday at Chalmers Field. So the games just keep getting bigger and bigger as you go on week by week, and we will see how the Spartans fare against another quality opponent in the Iowa Conference, really taking care of business this past Saturday as they were winners big over Coe College, 38-14. Nearly a flawless game offensively and defensively for the Spartans as they really went down there, took care of business, compiled all kinds of yardage, 520 yards of offense, held Coe to just over 200 yards of offense. So a great performance by the University of Dubuque in winning over Coe College to stay as an unbeaten team in the Iowa Conference, running their record to 4-2, and as I mentioned, undefeated still in conference play with a record of 3-0. And so we've got a lot to talk to. Head coach Stan Zweifel will be joining me here in just a moment to discuss this past week's ball game and also look ahead to this Saturday's showdown with the Wartburg Knights. And we'll come back and we'll hear from head coach Stan Zweifel. We'll bring him in and we'll talk UD Spartan football with the coach when we return. This is the UD Football Show with Stan Zweifel, back after this on 101.1 The River. And we're back on the UD Football Show with head coach Stan Zweifel joining us here on this Tuesday night here at Chalmers Field. You can see it in the background. That's going to be the home of a big ball game this Saturday, which we will get into as the Spartans take on the Wartburg College Knights for sole possession of first place in the Iowa Conference. But we welcome in Coach Zweifel. Coach, thanks for coming up here tonight.
Good to see you, Tim.
Well, it was a great victory over Coe College on Saturday, 38-14. I'm guessing right here, but I'm guessing that ranks up with one of the best performances the Spartan team has put together in your tenure here.
It really was. You know, we've had better games offensively, Tim, but we've never had a game against such a quality opponent that both sides of the football really put together some dominating performances. And, you know, it was very reminiscent. We had talked to our kids about the last time we were down there, we won the conference championship. And the last time we were down there, we were the last team to beat Coe in the conference. And I really felt our kids had a lot of energy, a tremendous amount of enthusiasm in the way we started. Got our first possession and scored, and they scored after their second. But we were able to put together some really big plays, Tim, in that second quarter. And I think big plays always create momentum. But what I was most happy of, Tim, the ball possession that we had in that game was oh, my gosh, unbelievable. Almost 40 minutes to 20 minutes. That's unbelievable, Tim. And then our defense just, I think, have gotten better every week in conference play. And we'll need to be that good as we talk later on about Wartburg. They're a quality football team. I really wanted to enjoy that game Saturday for a long, long time, about 25 minutes, and then you start getting ready for your next game. But I was so proud of our men. You know, we have played a difficult schedule. We've talked about it numerous times, but, you know, I think that schedule is paying dividends for us right now as when we get against quality opponents, we really seem like we're able to play maybe in a higher tempo, a little bit extra gear.
Yeah, it was really noticeable Saturday. Jim Kaloran and I, my broadcast partner, were just commenting on the defensive side of the ball, how physical your football team has been playing here the last couple of weeks, but especially Saturday.
Absolutely. Physical and fast, and every day we ask our kids, I think the biggest thing you always try and do in practice is get kids to play at a game tempo. And it's a struggle. I would be a liar if I didn't say it was, because that takes a lot of energy and motivation. But, you know, as you start to move along down the schedule, that Coe's a quality football team. They were ranked as high as 16th in a couple polls, 21 in a couple others, but they're undefeated. But, you know, as I told you, Tim, last week, and I told the players, they haven't played us yet. And I'm serious about that. We're a darn good football team. Quality players, and when we can play with inspiring, a lot of energy and enthusiasm, we're going to be tough to beat.
When you look back at this ball game, let's go back to the first quarter. The teams traded scores, and then another defensive play turns into points for your team. And it seemed like that was maybe one of the plays that really skyrocketed momentum the other way.
You know, Tim, we've talked about that we've been able to, our team defensively has taken the ball away, and then we've been able to get the ball after they've taken it away, and we seem to score with a big play within 1, 2, or 3 plays afterwards. And that really is a momentum creator, and it creates doubt in your opposition. But we've been very fortunate in the conference play not to turn the ball over. And we've been able to take the ball away from our opponents. And then when we've taken it away, we've been able to convert it into points. So it really ends up being a kind of a double dagger in your opposition. They turn it over, and then we take the ball right back and we score. And it really is a change of momentum. And I say this all the time, Tim. I wish I knew that. I wish I could bottle this. I'm sure every coach does. But confidence and momentum are two of the intangibles that if you can get it on your side, oh, my gosh, it makes such a difference in how the team plays.
Talked about your team not turning over the football. Brian Bradshaw, this week's Iowa Conference Player of the Week. What a great performance he had. And I went back all the way to the Stevens Point game when he threw his last interception. He's thrown 107 straight passes now without an interception. I think that's pretty incredible.
It really is. And now, you know, I think there's a couple things that indicate why that's happened. Number one, our protection has been better. Number two, you know, in the Stevens Point game, he's played with us for 3 games. Now, no matter what you say, and he's a senior and he's transferred, but he's only played with us for 3 games, and that takes some time. But our protection, in my opinion, has made the difference in the turnovers from the quarterback. And, of course, he's 19 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. We always used to think a 3-to-1 ratio for TD passes to interceptions is outstanding. He's on a 4-to-1. You know, been very fortunate here, Tim. We've been usually about 8 touchdown passes to 1 interception the years that I've been here. We've really worked hard at trying to make sure that we eliminate turnovers.
That is a huge stat when you go about the turnovers, and you lead the conference in turnover ratio. It's +8 now, I believe it is. And,
it is.
And able to not fumble the football. You haven't fumbled the ball either.
Yeah, you know, and again, I think you know, next week, this coming week, something could happen, but you're always coaching your kids to understand how devastating that is to your home team, your own team, when you turn the ball over. So we'll continue to work on that, Tim. Boy, I'm so excited because we had maybe our best practice of the year tonight. I don't know what that means. It means Tuesday night was our best practice. That's what it really means. But what it really kind of tells me is that we're focused and we've got a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm for a team coming into town that's only been beaten by Bethel, who's a top 5 team in the NCAA Division III. They're a team that perennially, as I've always talked about, one of the big 3, I think, Coe, Central, and Wartburg is what you always talk about in the Iowa Conference. And Rick Willis has done a tremendous job over there. He's a fantastic coach, and they are a very, very fast team. They're probably the fastest team we'll face this year, and I've told our kids, probably as fast as the WIAC teams we played, well coached, and they'll be excited about this game because after Saturday, there'll be only one team in first place in the conference.
In the game against Coe on Saturday, we talked about how great the defensive performance was. One of the reasons Coe was not producing well is you made life pretty uncomfortable for their quarterback back there. He was throwing balls at guys'
inaccurate,
feet.
Wasn't he?
Yeah, he was dancing around because he was facing some pressure. Your defensive linebackers were getting there.
Yeah, we had a game plan. Coach Smith put together a nice blitz package. We saw some things in their protection schemes where we thought we could do certain kind of twists and blitz up front, and then we got those things. And, you know, when a quarterback gets flustered or he gets feeling uncomfortable, that's a difficult time. And that kid, even though he's a good quarterback, this is his first year really playing a lot of football for him. So we thought we could do some things with it, and by God, it all worked out for us. And he was inaccurate. I would say a lot of that's based on coverage, but just as you said, Tim, probably more based on the pressure we were able to get on him.
Mm-hmm. What else really sticks out about this win over Coe?
You know, it's I've said this, those 3 big teams I mentioned before, you know, in the last 2 years or 3 years, we're 2-1 against Coe and 2-1 against Central. And we're 0-2 right now going into the Wartburg game. So I really think that we're probably on about task where I thought we were going to be if we got the thing going. But this game Saturday will really dictate about what's going to happen the last 3 weeks. And, of course, I think going down to Coe, playing in a hostile environment, great crowd, their 100th homecoming, blah, 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 blah,
They didn't
blah.
get a chance to be too loud, though. We didn't hear much.
Not a lot of celebration on, but that part, for me, I thought really showed the maturity of our football team. I measure it this way, Tim. I looked at our team in the Central game, home game, that we don't probably play the energy and enthusiasm that we did Saturday. Now we go beat Central, get a little bit more for Luther handily, and now down at Coe, it seems like we're playing with confidence and energy and enthusiasm. So I thought that really spoke about where we're at.
This is the UD Football Show with head football coach Stan Zweifel. As Coach talked about, big ball game coming here to Chalmers Field against the Wartburg College Knights coming up this Saturday, and we'll talk about the Spartans' opponent and more UD football when we return. This is the UD Football Show with head football coach Stan Zweifel on 101.1 The River. We are back on the UD Football Show with head football coach Stan Zweifel. The 3-0 Iowa Conference leading UD Spartans tied in first place with the 3-0 Wartburg Knights coming to Chalmers Field this Saturday, 1 o'clock kickoff, and our pregame will come up at 12:40 here on 101.1 The Run, 101.1 The River, and also on the university's website. You can catch the video streaming at dbq.edu. Just look for that live icon there and pull it up, and you can listen to the broadcast as well. But, Coach, the Wartburg Knights, as you preluded to, one of the top teams in the Iowa Conference year in and year out, and so a great challenge for your team this Saturday.
It really is. They're one of the programs that we want to emulate about their consistency in producing good players and also being very, very good in the conference and doing very well in the playoffs. And their Coach Willis has done a tremendous job, as I mentioned before, and they bring a team that has a lot of swagger to them, a lot of confidence. We're going to have to match that confidence and that intensity, but I really am excited about this game because after Saturday, somebody will be in first place by themselves with a game buffer. And also what I think that happens, if you think about that, that puts so much pressure on everybody else that every game's a must game from there on out. It isn't going to decide the conference championship, as we mentioned. Even with Coe's game last week, we talked about the same scenario. But it will put somebody in pretty darn good position. I think there are several keys to this game, Tim. First of all, as I mentioned, I think they've got great team speed. And one of the things we think we're the fastest team in the conference. We think that us and them are very, very comparable. So you don't want this is such an interesting statistic, Tim, that we've looked at their offense. Their explosive plays account for almost 79% of their offense, which means 20 plays get nothing, 2 plays get 100 yards. So that team speed is what I talk about with our staff. That's a huge, important part of their offense. So we have to negate their big plays, and I think we have the kind of quality speed that can. So we've got to be able to make sure that we don't let somebody slip out of the backfield or miss a tackle or something like that. Then the second thing they have done is they've done a great job playing defense. Even though their statistics went up, they played Luther last week, who rushes the ball, but they've been outstanding at stopping the run. The 2 games they haven't been was Luther, which was their closest game, and Bethel, which they lost to. So they're going to hang their hat defensively on getting after you and stopping the run and make you be one-dimensional. So as I say, and we got to be able to run the ball, got to negate their playmakers on offense. Then I'll say to you, Tim, we've made a living ourselves out of big plays, getting the ball in our playmakers' hands, and we got to continue to do that. We got to protect, but we got to be as balanced as we possibly can.
They did just survive against Luther in their last ball game, 24-21. That was a tight ball game at Luther. They come in leading in total offense, 426 yards. Their defense, 5th defensively, 7th against the pass. So. As a staff, you have to like that number.
Yeah, that matchup looks good, and I don't know, it's kind of skewed because Bethel got some yards on them, but they have, Tim, we think they have the 2 fastest corners in the league, and that's including our guys. But we also think we have pretty darn good receivers, too. So that matchup will be fun. It'll be fun in the case that, we're going to have great competition there and who can execute the best, either their particular defensive scheme or what we're going to do offensively. But I'm really excited about that matchup because every week I say somebody's going to do something to stop our throw game, but it really hasn't happened yet because I think we've got good players.
And your receiving core, we didn't talk about them in the first segment, but wow, what a game all of them had on Saturday. And, you could just see Coe trying to figure out. And then
who to stop,
you run Rutenbeck and Bagley on one side, and then it's like, hey, what's going on now?
It's been a lot of fun. We've got Tyler Dobratz is back full-time healthy. Yep. He played last week 39 snaps, so he'll be full-time duty at tight end for us. We got Bagley, we got Rutenbeck. You're going to be talking to Sean Anderson, one of our captains, who's our second leading receiver this season. And we've got Najee Toomer, a freshman. Those 4 guys are good players. And as I said, Tim, we like to hang our hat on here. We can coach receivers. We really do. We think in the years that we've been here, we've developed some outstanding receivers, and we've always had good players to work with. But that'll be fun because it will stress their defense, and they do like to play some press quarters, which for the fans out there, that means the corners are going to play man-to-man pressed up with safety help over the top. So there are some things you can have a chance to do. But they'll blitz you, and they'll do some of the things. I again say to you, Tim, our ability to run the ball will really be important in this game. I don't know if we're going to have a 40-minute to 20-minute like we did at Coe. I just don't think that's going to happen against Wartburg. But we have to be able to run the ball effectively to win this game.
And the key, once again, the offensive line, which
Yes.
did a great job Saturday, both pass blocking, run blocking. I mean, it was like a buffet.
It was nice. And I told you, Tim, that is the most important part of our football team and the most veteran with the most experience. And really the first 3 or 4 weeks, I was a little bit disappointed in their play. Now they've really responded. They played a physical game. They played with tremendous amount of physicality up there. And we were able to run the ball. If they do that again on Saturday, I like our chances.
I think probably one thing maybe you worked on or have been working on, talking about special teams a little bit, kickoff coverage, that was maybe a little bit of a chink in the armor last Saturday.
Yeah, you know, that was the part in the previous 3 games. We have outplayed everybody on special teams. This maybe was our worst special team performance in kickoff for sure. And we really, on Sunday's meeting, I won't tell you what was said, but we really got after those folks and challenged them. You can't assume that P.J. Butler's going to kick it out of the end zone every time he kicks the dang ball. That just isn't reality. And I think from the previous weeks, P.J. has had such success kicking the ball out of the end zone that our kids really took maybe a play off. And boy, did we get after them about that part, because it only takes a kickoff return to turn the game around or get you beat. So, but our field goal extra points were perfect again. Yep. Our kickoff return was good. We did have to punt very often, but we got the ball off, and he made some nice kicks with the exception of one return that we got led against us. But that part is always going to play a part in a big game, Tim, because sometimes it can swing the momentum.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, it doesn't need to be stated, a big ball game in the Iowa Conference. Get a sense that these guys are a big game type of players after what they did at Coe, and you feel good about
You know, Tim, I always tell you this. I say that my whole thought about having a good game is you practice well every day, and then that comes out in the game on Saturdays. And I say that about the 54 practices we've had previously. I can't say every practice has been outstanding, but the last week and a half we have practiced harder with more focus and cleaner than we have in the previous 5 weeks. That's got to bode well for us. We're healthy. We've got a lot of momentum. And we've got a lot of enthusiasm and confidence. Now, that'll go a long way. I don't know how far it's going to go, because it's going to come down to some of our players making plays. But I can't wait to play the game on Saturday. I'm so excited about us being in that position again to play a meaningful game on Game 7 that might help determine who the conference champion is.
Should be a great crowd here at Chalmers
Yes.
Field. The stands will be full of blue, and I'm sure on the other side a lot of orange. And, a great contest for folks to come out and watch or listen to here on 101.1 The River. But we'd like you to come out and support the Spartans. If you can make it to Chalmers Field, pack Chalmers Field, and make this a great game atmosphere. I know the Spartan fans have done that all season long. Stan, before I let you go, other thoughts as you get ready for this matchup with Wartburg?
Well, I'll give you a personal thought on this, Tim. I told our staff this is our 5th season. The only team I haven't beaten is Wartburg. And if I don't get up on July 8th or July 16th out of sleep and think about son of a gun, Stan, what the heck? And that's not about our team. That's about my frustration. The last 2 years, we've lost a 3-point game and a game down there where we could have tied it up. 2 3-point games is what it's been, hasn't it? And they've been great games, and I think it adds fuel to the rivalry that we have with them. And so I'm just excited about it, get a chance for us to show how good we can be.
Coach Zweifel, we'll let you go for this Tuesday evening. We'll look forward to the ball game on Saturday when the Spartans take on the Wartburg Knights. Congratulations on the win on Saturday, and good luck this Saturday.
Thanks, Tim. We're looking forward to that game. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, that is head coach Stan Zweifel, University of Dubuque head coach, joining us on our UD football show. It's Stan Zweifel. We'll come back, and we'll bring in Sean Anderson. We'll get a chance to meet him, a wide receiver for the Spartans. when we return on the UD Football Show here on 101.1 The River. And this is the UD Football Show here on 101.1 The River with Stan Zweifel. And we're going to bring in wide receiver Sean Anderson of the Spartans, senior wide receiver, joining us. And Sean, thanks a lot for coming on the UD Football Show here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, you were on our program last year in our debut season, and you did such a great job. We thought, well, you know, we'll have you back on. So.
All right, good deal.
Great to have you up here. Well, your senior season this year, and so it's got to be extra special, especially with the role the Spartans are on right now.
Absolutely. You know, last year we kind of had a little bit of letdown, and this year we just are so focused, and we're ready to move on to winning the next conference championship.
Mm-hmm. Talk about this group of receivers that join you. Tyler Rutenbeck's having a great season. Chris Bagley's really starting to make some big plays yourself. Najee Toomer. You just go down the list. And talk about what these receivers bring to the table with this offensive unit.
Really, we think we have the best receiving core in the nation. I mean, Rudy, we know Rudy can beat deep, and Bagley's starting to get into his game and play really well. And it's just really scary for other teams to see all of us play so well and trying to cover our schemes and whatnot. And, you know, we're all just out there competing our ass off.
Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about your specific role as a receiver on the Spartan team, more of a possession type of receiver, and you run great routes.
Yeah, that's what I've always been. I don't really have the size or speed that Rudy or Bags has, but you know, I feel like I have the best hands on the team. I can go out there, and if it's a third and 5, I can go out there, run a 5-yard route, and get the first down in a key situation. So they really count on me for that.
Mm-hmm. Let's go back to the game on Saturday against Coe College. The receivers really played a great game. The whole offensive unit played a great game. It was quite a performance. Just talk about your thoughts on that win.
Yeah, it was really nice because we had both parts of our offense, rushing and passing going. I think we rushed for over 200 yards, passed for over 300. It's really nice to see our offense click like it did against Coe, a top 25 team, and you know, just keep it rolling throughout the next 4 conference games.
Mm-hmm. You've got a new quarterback behind center this year, Brian Bradshaw, Wyatt Honus from last year, and talk about he really came in and adapted to your receivers, and you guys just seem like you're on the same page. Like you know, Wyatt's still around, but it's Bradshaw.
Yeah, he's got hard shoes to fill, but Bradshaw is a very intelligent quarterback. He knows his system well. He knows what's going on. He's definitely came into the quarterback role very well, and he can click with our receivers very well. So we like Brian as our quarterback. He's done a great job the whole season, and I think he's just going to keep on improving through the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm. You started out 1-2 on the season, a very tough non-conference schedule. Then you got into the Iowa Conference, and Coach talked about he wanted that schedule to be tough to prepare you for conference play. Do you feel like it really did the job?
Yeah, actually, I think it did. You know, we were pretty disappointed with the 1-2. We really like to have a winning record in the out-of-conference schedule, but we knew like our whole goal was to win conference, and our tough out-of-conference schedule has definitely helped us with our first 3 games in conference so far, and hopefully we can just improve on that.
Mm-hmm. As you look at this game on Saturday against Wartburg College, I assume you guys would probably like to play it tonight if you could.
Oh, absolutely. You know, in the 3 years I've been here, I think Wartburg is the only conference team I haven't beat, so this is a big one for us seniors especially, and we just love to play Wartburg and, you know, beat them for the first time in 4 years.
As you mentioned, this is your senior season, and boy, you look at where you've come from and where you are now, and it's probably feels like a pretty short trip because your college career just seems to fly by. Did you realize that when you were a freshman that it was going to go by so quick?
No, when I was a freshman, I thought it was going to be a long 4 years, and now looking back on it, it's been so quick. I've had so much fun with these guys and on the football team. It's been a great experience.
How has your role really changed as a senior this year?
Really, my freshman and sophomore year, I came in about 30 snaps a game. between last year and this year, I've played steady 60 to 70 snaps a game, and really have been in on mostly every play. And I mean, between the years, I've been getting the ball more and more. Last year, I had my best season in the 3 years. Had, I think, 68 catches. So, you know, just improving my game every year. I think I've gotten better every year.
And as far as a leadership role, as far as being a senior, Coach Z expects you guys to really show the underclassmen the ropes, I guess.
Yeah, and I've been in the system for 4 years. I know every little glitch that wide receivers have to do between each coverage. I know how to, like, show the young guys where to go on these routes for versus certain coverages and certain defenses. So, you know, I'm out there coaching as well as, you know, competing.
Sean, we appreciate your time. Thanks for coming up here after practice, and we'll let you go get some rest here, get ready for Saturday's ball game against Wartburg College. Thanks for joining us.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, you bet. That's Sean Anderson, wide receiver for the University of Dubuque Spartan football team. We'll come back with some final thoughts on our UD football show with Stan Zweifel after this on 101.1 The River. And that's going to be our show for this Tuesday evening here on 101.1 The River. But we certainly invite you to join us on Saturday for our broadcast as the Spartans take on the Wartburg College Knights. We'll be on the air at 12:40 with the pregame show. Then the kickoff is at 1 o'clock. If you can't make it down to Chalmers Field, you can tune into the radio or watch it with the streaming on the university's website, dbq.edu, and look for that live sports icon that they've got there that you can click on and access the Spartan athletics. So we'll look forward to talking with you Saturday, 12:40 on 101.1 The River from Chalmers Field. I'm Tim Lary for the University of Dubuque Football Show with Stan Zweifel.